to the 35th Hayley-Roxanna Crafts quick crochet video, where I share information, hints and tips on one area of crochet in a short video. In this video, I'm focusing on changing yarn. There are two main reasons why you may need to change yarn when crocheting. Firstly, you have run out of the ball of yarn that you are using. And secondly, you need to change the colour. There are many methods you can use to change yarn, and I'm going to demonstrate 3 here. The first method I'm going to demonstrate is the basic change. This is simply picking up the new yarn instead of the old one. This technique is best used at the end of rows when changing colour, but can be used anywhere if the colour is staying the same. For this method, you simply let go of the old yarn, bring in the new one and pull it through the loop that is on your hook. And in this case, it's also created the turning chain that you need at the start of the row. You can now cut off the old yarn, leaving a tail long enough to weave in. You must also make sure you have a tail of the new yarn for weaving in later too. The problem with this method is that the join hasn't been secured, so your work is at risk of unravelling until you weave in these ends. The next method I'm going to demonstrate is the last yarn over join, which can be used anywhere in your work when changing yarn, but it is particularly useful for changing colour in the middle of a row or when working in the round. This is the method I tend to use most often for changing yarn. For this method, you change your yarn in the last yarn over of the previous stitch to where you need the new colour. So if I say needed one more stitch in the pink, but then the next stitch was going to be in this spearmint colour, I would do my last pink stitch to the point where there's just one yarn over left needed. I will then take the new colour, pop it over my hook and pull that through. I can then make the next stitch in the new colour. Like so. This method ensures that the top of your last stitch in the old colour is the correct colour, as well as your new stitch being the correct colour all the way through. In order to ensure the ends are secure, I often knot the tails together. So the bit I will snip off from the old yarn and my tail from where I've joined my new, I will just make a simple knot before weaving my ends in. You could just weave the ends in. I just feel the knots are an added bit of security and it doesn't bother me having knots in my crocheting. You just need to be careful that you don't pull the knot too tight and distort your work. The last method I'm going to demonstrate is the standing start. I have demonstrated standing stitch before and I'll pop a link to that video here. This method is my preferred method for changing colour at the start of a round, but it can also be used at the start of a row. However, it can only be used at the start of a row or a round. The advantage to this method is that it eliminates the need for starting chains and the ends are already secure. To use this method, you fasten off the last stitch of the previous round or row, as I have done here. Then with the new colour attached to your hook with a slip knot, you make a standing stitch. So if I was making a UK double crochet, I just insert my hook into the first stitch of the row or round, do a yarn over and pull through, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. That makes the first double crochet in UK terms, or a single crochet in US terms. If I wanted to make a UK treble crochet, which is a US double crochet, you would just do it as though you're making a normal treble crochet, as though your yarn's already attached. So you do your yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull through. You may just need to use your finger just to hold those loops on the hook to start with. Then you yarn over and pull through 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2 loops. You will still need to weave your ends in when you have finished though. Whether you use one of these methods that I've demonstrated or any other method to change yarn is down to personal preference and desired outcome. And if you are following a pattern, it may even suggest a method to use. If you have any questions about changing yarn, please pop them in the comments. And in the next quick crochet video, I will demonstrate crocheting a traditional granny square.